Ever wondered what makes TV so powerful in Jamaica? Time to find out. Welcome to Global TV Group 358, where television meets innovation. We're not just about shows, we're about shaping society. In Jamaica, TV keeps you informed, connects diverse voices, and supports democracy. Imagine a Jamaica where broadcasters unite, sharing data and collaborating globally. That's us, a unified voice in the TV industry. Did you know TV advertising is still king? It drives website traffic, boosts brand equity, and powers integrated campaigns. Even in an age of digital, TV stands strong, resilient in tough times. Our global TV deck is your treasure trove of insights and data. With charts, graphs, and success stories, it's your guide to impactful TV advertising. Curious to learn more? Visit our website and see how Global TV Group 358 keeps television at the heart of entertainment in Jamaica. Get ready to binge watch the future.
Corruption is a vile disease that sucks and drains the health out of something good. Corruption in society is an evil moral infection that keeps community in a state of perpetual sickness. Corruption is a moral virus. It's so potent, it leaves its host sick, lethargic, and unable to realize and accomplish all that a well person can. Where corruption thrives, poverty and not prosperity thrives. Wealth is grabbed into the greedy, grubby hands of those who get fat on the toil and labor of good people. Corruption benefits, only temporarily, those who participate in it. Everyone else is a victim of the theft, the deceit, the dishonesty, and the lies that corruption feeds on. You need to know that a corrupt person is stealing from you. Corruption is filthy work and despicable acts of treachery done under the table and behind closed doors. Corruption is a disgusting shame. Corruption keeps a nation back from true development and from progress. Wise investors steer clear of a corrupt environment. They would rather put their resources into a place where the playing field of opportunity is equal for all and not bent towards feeding the financial lust of corrupt, lying, cheating, thieving politicians and government officials. How many wonderful development projects have been lost because the investors didn't want to do business in a swamp of evil? When those great projects go to another nation or to some other place, we all lose. Believe me when I tell you that corruption steals from you, it steals from all of us. Corruption plunders the nation's wealth. Corrupt people compromise on truth, equity, and fairness, choosing instead to feed off the short-term benefits of crookedness, exploitation, and financial perversion. Corruption is not just a personal matter, it's a culture. It's a way of life, not just for individual people, but for companies, communities, governments, and nations. Corrupt nations, hiding behind large companies, will seek to invest in other weak nations in order to take over the assets of the nation that they've invested into. They will provide financial loans to a nation for the much-needed infrastructure, and they will do it with assets that they provide. They will sign contracts by lining the pockets of rotten government officials who participate in this kind of corruption and are then held hostage by their own deceit and greed. Corruption is nothing less than a form of theft and national robbery. A corrupt person steals from everyone in society.
Together, run, keep going on, less process. For children of Israel do really love rights. So just as I and I as a watchman, I run Babylonian walls. Oh, children of Israel, I should never hold thy peace. What wrong is going on? Hey, oh, we gonna bust down Babylon walls. Prepare the way. Prepare the way for your people. Let's go. Fight down war and crime. Fight down. Me say Rastafari. War and crime. And do the righteousness. And we love. I will love Jaja, I will love Jaja, yeah, we love Jaja, we love Jaja, we love Jaja, preserve all people. Put time away again. Listen,
Yeah.
just as I and I say, watch your man, I run Babylonian walls. Oh, children of Israel, I should never hold thy peace while we penalize. Hey, oh, night. We gonna pass down Babylon gates. Prepare the way. Prepare the way for Rastafari. Fight down war and fight. Fight down war and fight. Rastafari, war and crime, and build up righteousness. And we love Jah, and we love Jah, and we love Jah, Rastafari, preserve all. And we love Jah, me love Jah, me love Jah, Rastafari, preserve all. Me love Jah, Rastafari. Yeah, the next song is going to be the last song for tonight. And then DJ Twink.
If the Minister of Finance was a donkey, she certainly couldn't carry my load go market. Because by the time me and the minister get to market, everybody sell off and a pack up and come home. It has now become public abuse of the elderly. What is happening with our Minister of Finance is getting more and more embarrassing to our country. A whole bunch of a nothing much brigade. Kamina Johnson-Smith came to the podium today, yapping. Dana Dixon-Smith, blah, 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 blah. I'm nowhere closer to understanding what Dana Dixon or Kamina Johnson-Smith or Fayval Williams is talking about. Absolutely no idea. A government of nothing but fraud. Good evening, everyone, and welcome. Thank you all for joining us. To my community of party and all my family members, platform moderators, membership holders, dear subscribers, commenters, and trolls. Good evening, welcome. Thank you all for joining us this evening, right here on Global TV. Let us first apologize to you for this morning's show and explain to you about last night's show. Now, last night, I was watching Parliament. Oh, God of mercy. Oh, I was watching Parliament last night, and I literally was put to sleep by Fayval's performance. I mean, I was trying to stay up through it. I was trying to stay up through it. I mean, Fayval's performance in the House is getting more and more disgraceful. More and more it is showing that Andrew Holness has placed Fayval in a position where she has no competency for. But we will get into that. Because we come about, I don't call Kev Phil, you know. We come about a few things tonight. Call those who call themselves journalists and call Kamina Johnson Cement neck Phil, please, because we have questions to ask tonight. Because we want to ask a journalism. I make uno want to shut we up when uno already shut up. Somebody have to talk, you know. Somebody have to talk. One of the peeps, good evening. Debbie Jarvis, good evening and welcome. My mother, good evening. Good evening. Colleen, good evening. Laverne, Suzette Williams, good evening. Miranda Ruddock, Karen Nemad, good evening. Opal Watson, good evening and welcome. Who if you thought about first tonight? There's so much to go around. Let us deal with news issue one by one and tackle them as we go along. Gloria Taylor, Violet Watson, how are you all doing? I'm sorry for the country, you know. I'm sorry for the country. Because it only, when I did watch press conference today, I know I'm not tired of the effort just like me. But when I did watch Parliament yesterday, our press conference this morning, we will go through the news article then we will put out for, we're going to leave Lady Esmeralda. Paul, how you do? We're going to leave Lady Esmeralda for later. Jesus, it was, oh, God, have mercy upon our country. When we have Ratbat, donkey will all as Methuselah become the Minister of Finance in our country. And people think to say we're on our way to somewhere. But let's go from back and start. Come up. Christopher Tufton and Delroy Gray, if I saw your name. Did you hear what Christopher Tufton and Delroy Gray told us yesterday? You know, keep up with the news. Did you hear what Christopher Tufton and Delroy Gray told us about Cornwall Regional Hospital yesterday? That Cornwall Regional Hospital was back to a pre-Melissa state. Pre-Melissa. When was Cornwall Regional Hospital functionable since 2017? Anybody else here? Anybody here know? Does anyone here, is there anyone here who is aware of when Cornwall Regional Hospital was functional since 2017? So if we come out and talk about we're back to a pre-Melissa state. Pre-Melissa state for who? We never have bed before Melissa. We never have equipment before Melissa. We never have supply before Melissa. We have beach chair before Melissa. So what the pre-Melissa state we went back to where we seem to be rejoiced about. And to those of you who are interacting with my website, the app and the articles, thank you very much. But we would still need more support because see, you can read the Lion story from Gleaner and the Lion story from the other one, them you can read for the Lion story too. The whole way I tell Lion story. So share the support right across the Lion storyboard. Share the support right across the Lion storyboard. Because they not tell a better lie than we. They might tell lie on behalf of the government, we tell lie on behalf of the people. So, they say Melissa de back to Cornwall Regional Hospital is back to a pre-Melissa state. Only if Delroy Gray, I believe that's her name, only if Delroy Gray and Christopher Tufton could come out and tell us what exactly is the pre-Melissa state that you're talking about. Was it something that favorable to the people of Jamaica? Was it something where the people of Jamaica benefit from? The pre-Melissa state was a disgrace to our health care. The pre-Melissa state was a refugee, has been a refugee camp. a makeshift hospital since 2017, drinking money like how vampire drink blood. So what it is that the pre-Melissa state is, we don't need to come out and describe, not just talk the one word cross the board. That's what I say, pre-Melissa state. What does the pre-Melissa state mean? This is the broad brush that these people speak to the Jamaica people in. Just broad brush of things. So we are back to pre-Melissa state. Was Cornwall Regional Hospital functional before Melissa? Christopher and Delroy, what's it? Was Cornwall Regional Hospital functional before Melissa? Were people not on dirt before Melissa and they're still on dirt now? So how is it from dirt to dirt is a better position? You only come out and tell with a thing to say we're in a better position. And that make you come out and say, no, to pull the wool over the people to say we're in a better position. But we still upon dirt, Christopher Tufton. Arlene Scott, how you do? Active, God bless. How you do? We still depend on before Melissa, we did depend on a Cornwall. Before Melissa, we never have better Cornwall. Before Melissa, A&E overrun at Cornwall. Before Melissa, people wait days upon days for a bed at Cornwall. What is the pre-Melissa position? What is the pre-Melissa position that Christopher Tufton and Delroy are talking about? Like it's something for us to celebrate. It's something to alleviate our anxiety of the mess, the crumbling death spiral that our healthcare has become. What is it? Maybe we don't need to come back out and tell because we don't have a way of talking and leave we confused and just walk off left way. But tell us, we are interested to know, Sharon Powell, how you do? We are interested to know what the pre-Melissa state was. And I hope you all read that article that we put out on the pre-Melissa myth that the hooligans are talking about. Evan, how you do? Mr. Fisher Bennett, you there? You're there. Good evening. Good evening. How you do? No. Debian, Wagwan. So I hope we not interact with the information them what we are put out. The information we are putting out, it's not propaganda. AI don't write lie and tell. AI write what is in public domain. The easy jerk, Wagwan, bro. So for them article have no more authorities. Their article have no more authority than ours. So if you read the article and keep on up to speed with all of the galanging what these people are galang pan. All right? So that's the pre-Melissa myth. It's on the Facebook, and that will lead you to there. Let's deal with the mayor of Black River. And this is not just to the mayor of Black River, but because he raised an issue, I want to extend it to the government. Now, the mayor of Black River, we are all aware that Black River was at the forefront of the atmospheric blast, as Andrew Holness would describe it, an atomic bomb of wind and water. Black River was slapped by that. Southwest St. Elizabeth was slapped by that. So the mayor of Black River is looking for, Jamrock Oyodo, is looking for building to use as shelter in the upcoming 2026 hurricane season. Now, I put out an article on this today, looking at whether, or shouldn't it be rather time now that we start looking at building design shelters. We're not gonna move out of the hurricane belt ever. That's where we are. We're gonna always be in that cycle. Our schools weren't built for those purposes. We see a lot of our school never even designed to withstand hurricane category 4, never mind category 5. The Prime Minister in his climate change push. These are some of sorry oh, Andrew almost stop it pushing finger down my throat, so hold on. The climate change resilience that the Prime Minister regularly speak about, building for the future. Hurricane shelters or disaster shelters ought to be such a priority, because I him same one every day as the United Nations give him in writing to do. I him same one every day push the climate change argument down with throat, push the rebuilding for resilience down with throat. Us, the people of Jamaica, particularly us around the coastline of Jamaica and in the hilly areas of Jamaica, which can be at some grave risk in, i.e., a category 5 hurricane. It is about time we start having the conversation of how we prepare for disaster. We can't prepare for disaster by walking and solicit available build whatever building may be available to use in the event of a hurricane. These are the reasons we get loan, what we will get to in a minute, insurance money, what we will get to in a minute. These are the reasons we get insurance money, to put these measures in place to withstand future hurricane. This is why the government put we in debt with another 6.7 billion US dollars in loan. We also saw our government collected millions in US dollar in donation, concert, gifts, and a lot of things. This is the time that us, the people of Jamaica, must be having the conversation. We saw the effects of Melissa. I don't know if another storm can be more devastating than Melissa, but we can have earthquake and flood that is more devastating than Melissa. So we need to have the conversation about building for disaster. Building for disaster. And that building for disaster, Prime Minister, extend to the National Housing Trust, to the the Housing Association of Jamaica, as well as, Prime Minister, to all of these developers who use drywall and are rip off the people them in the tune of millions. We need to have a national conversation. But Lord Jesus, Jamaica people, no, there is no national conversation going on in our country. No national conversation. When everything a pop off round with, there isn't a national conversation. There isn't something that grips the attention of the nation, other than election and handouts. other than election and handout. So please do interact with these articles, please, because our articles also ask questions and it look and things from both angles, as you will see in the one with Kamina Johnson Simit that we put out today after she done press conference. Lord Jesus, have mercy. Let's go to Kev. Let's go to Kev. Kev, with the title. Don't you think, Kev, in the eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth, you should start firing bullets at your officers? It might sound extreme, Kev, but our children that you're firing bullets after are the same criminals, Kev, as your, how the title say, the back road scene there. Busted and back road. The guardian as the gun runner. The guardian as the gun runner. JCF constable arrested in Portmore arms bus. You heard about that arms bus in Port Henderson in Portmore. So we're asking Kev, wouldn't it be okay as well for you to fire on your people, just as you fire upon everyone them where you think they are criminal? What is happening in the security services though? We knew it's nothing new to us that criminals have always been in the security service. This is nothing new. I mean, if you want to be honest, some of members of the Jamaica Constabulary Force are some of the violence producer in our country. What is it though where it look like, me don't know if I'm hungry, they hungry, them greedy like the rest of Jamaica. What is it why your people them a get catch in a gun scamming and drugs, so Kev? I mean, the rate of how things are going, Kev, on our run them boy a street hot with the crime. Kev, the way on our going around corner there, on our get them boy a run for them money, Soldier, police, the way on relax with the crime, Kev. Kev. The way on relax with the crime, on all have drugs in our filing cupboard as CTAC. This is how comfortable on crime become. This is how comfortable on crime become. You all need to start firing at your very own. Because just like how we pick them deserve to go up on Checha, the same one them will turn the gun at our children, them can go up on Checha too. And if when they take off their uniform, then become worse than say we pick them, what's the point? What? We talk this all the time. And Jamaica will never change until these things happen. We have to clean corruption in the police and in government before we can move anywhere forward. This is why decades after decades, we continue to go backward. We also put out an article on the corruption perception index where we remain at 44, still no changes for 7 years. You can understand why, isn't it? I don't think we need to go deep into that, but That article you can also read as well. But it's wholeness government. It's the wholeness regime. It's the people who procure the things, then do the paperwork after. So, I mean, corruption. What should surprise you? hmm? What should surprise you is that it hasn't gotten worse. What should surprise you is that it hasn't gotten worse. But staying stagnant for 7 years is really no surprise. I mean, with the Andrew Holness regime since 2018 onwards, and we've lost count of scandals and corruption coming out. I mean, even for this year, we still can't keep up. Just for 2026 alone, we were 1 month and 2 weeks into the year, it hard to keep up. 1 month and 2 weeks into 2026, and it hard to keep up with the scandal and the thieving and the treachery will come out of Andrew Holness government. So nothing to see there about that. But the Jamaica Constabulary Force have questions to answer as to who they're employing. Is it that uno employ them and turn them in a criminal, Kevin and Chang and Andrew? Or are you employing criminal? Is the Jamaica Constabulary Force vetting the people that they're employing properly? Or is it that the Jamaica Constabulary Force is such a charlatan organization that young people gonna go turn criminal? Which is it? We want to know. Which is it? Uno employ criminal, or they come to turn criminal? It have to be one of the two. Could it be the two running together? Don't know, but certainly one of the two. Either no employ criminal or the racketeering wanna run there with crack cocaine in a filing cabinet. Will make any church boy turn criminal. So Kev have question for answer. Left, right, and center for your people them just get catch with drugs, gun, ammunition, scamming. What is going on, Kev? Because when I feel we pick them, you come out, come talk. When I feel we pick them, when you come out, come make it look serious. What happened to follow them? What happened to follow them? So, to get the fine details of the article, you will have to read it for yourself. Alrighty? Who next? Minister of Blunder. Minister of Blunder. No, I put the wrong thing. It's the wrong thing of Darrell Vaz on here. Let me address Kamina Johnson Smith while I change. No. Let's take a break here while I address Darrell Vaz. And there's a video that I want to bring to... I want to advance the publicity of this video, because this is a problem that a lot of young girls in Britain, Canada, and America get caught up in.
Hi, good evening.
Don't know if I become they can crutch them or what it is, but where these young girls find in these Jamaican man where they take up and then fly go down and end up at prison, some of them all go down with all ring and wedding dress. Don't ask me where they go down with it for. Because some of these marriage where these pick them get up from foreign and meet these boy them over online or over phone and then get up, go down with ring and frack. Dry trash pan dot. last longer than some of these marriage. But these young people are not learning. Even, I think yesterday as well, recently one get arrested again with $1 million bail issue for. So we highlight the issue to show young people in England, America and Canada, these young boys not always mean or no good. And somehow no see it, because somehow no go down there and think it's a holiday and no end up at prison. Or no end up sexually assaulted, rape and all sort. But for whatever reason, don't want to see in a Jamaica man them anyway. But wanna see it. Maybe me would need spine glass or microscope or something to put them on the see what the difference of them and any other idiot man.
Hi, good evening everyone. I don't usually do videos, but this is a very serious topic. This is my daughter Saraya. She's now 22 years old. She went on holiday for a week with her friend to Jamaica back in October 2024. So this is the girls. This is Genevieve, Taraya's friend. They've been friends for about 8 years. She asked Taraya if she wanted to go to Jamaica for a week because her boyfriend was out there. I tried to encourage her not to go, you know, because she'd never been on holiday by herself, but she was turning 21, so there's only so much she's going to listen to her mum about. So on the 13th of October, they went to Jamaica. I tried to encourage Taraya to get her own accommodation because she didn't know these boys from nowhere. This was Genevieve's boyfriend of 2 years. She'd been dating this boy, supposedly from Milton Keynes, for 2 years. She was told his name was Tony. Now, again, I told my daughter to get her own accommodation, but she wouldn't.
Bareback, how the caliber Jamaican the way you talk about? Can you point them out? Come want to meet the caliber Jamaican them. The whole I know sit down with them mouth shut and can't even speak up for no right about caliber Jamaicans. Caliber without even voice. Oh please. Kind of things the acting stush and all sort and placid is anything good when you can't speak truth to power. You can't even speak truth to yourself. And this is what happened to Jamaica. We can't even speak truth to ourselves anymore. This is why we push back against the truth so much. When you talk to Jamaica man, them useless. Even though they didn't get jacket holy, but they're useless.
Listen, this is supposed
not
to be
all of them before anybody
name
else
not
start
Tony.
jump down
His
the
name
throat.
is Uriah Gordon. And
But we
this
don't know who
is
for
his
them
Jamaican
is.
cousin, LeJean, we think. So again, this is Uriah Gordon, or should we say Tony, as the girls knew him as. Now, Jenny was seeing this boy for 2 years. Imagine, 2 years. So Uriah paid for Jenny's ticket because obviously she thought it was a boyfriend. And I paid for Taraya's ticket because she was turning 21. So this is where it all began. They went to Jamaica, 13th of October. The boys picked them up from the...
Let me tell you something. Any man at Jamaica or a foreign, or no here telling us they don't pay a ticket for no go to Jamaica. Them friends go no drugs for care up. Nobody have money to pay a ticket for people go to Jamaica on their own. And none of you and them a go.
the airport and took them to St. Mary, where they had this prestigious Airbnb. I'm talking jacuzzi, swimming pool, everything. I'm still trying to tell my daughter, get your own Airbnb. She's like, Mum, it's fine. And obviously, because, you know, the artist TJ, he was doing a music video next door, you know, the guy that does Drift. So she's not going to listen to her mum, is she? But I still tried to encourage it, but she did her own thing. So, obviously, the next day, they're settling in. The boys have taken them everywhere. Duns River, YS Falls, everywhere. Rafting, you know, we get the rub down and everything. They did everything, took them everywhere. Fancy meals, everything you can think of. But they had an agenda. So let's fast forward to the last day. Bearing in mind, they went for 1 week. Before my daughter went to Jamaica, I spoke to her clearly. And I told her, do not be carrying nothing from Jamaica. Don't even think about it. Anyway, Jenny's boyfriend, you know, 2 years. He's saying to her, oh, will you bring these trainers back for my cousin? So Taraya said no, but they pulled on her heartstrings. So obviously she agreed in the end. So Jenny had 5 pairs and Taraya had 3 pairs. So this is where the nightmare began. The boys dropped the girls to the airport. They've gone into the airport. They've not gone from no security, no.
And this is how these little girls foolish. Who don't know buy shoes from Jamaica send come to England? When Jamaica people always are beg England people shoes. I mean, you see when you claim someone in love, that's why they say love is blind. It's not that it is physically blind, but it's blind your spiritual eyes. It blinds your discernment. Who buy shoes from Jamaica send come a foreign?
Sniffer dogs. All they've done is gone into the two-way line. So they got pulled out of the line after not being through no security, no sniffer dogs. Remember what they said. And they've asked for the passports. So obviously they're a bit shocked what's going on here. The officers have opened up the suitcases and then pulled out the probe, picked up a pair of shoes and obviously swabbed it. And it's come back positive for what? You know what? I don't need to say it on here and get banned. Anyway, the girls were taken into custody. They were held at the Cambridge police station in St. James, Montego Bay. Then at about 11:30 that night, I got a phone call for the British Embassy. I thought I was going to die. Anyway, I flew out there about 4 days later, and it took me 19 days to get my daughter out of jail. She was in jail for 19 days. The conditions of the jail were horrendous, as you can imagine. Concrete floor, full of women in the same predicament. While they were in jail, I provided food, water, pads, anything that I was allowed to send in. On the 8th of November, Teray was released. So I bailed her out.
Lynette
The reason she got
Jenkins
out was because my father is Jamaican. So now the girls are on bail. The first court hearing was, I think it was the 18th of December. In total, these girls went to court 11 times. This is how long this was prolonged. It was just a long, unnecessary experience. Sometimes my daughter's lawyer didn't turn up, many times. Sometimes Jenny's lawyer didn't turn up. Jenny didn't turn up one time. So it was just long. So the girls have been in Jamaica for a total of 16 months. Bearing in mind they had the serious hurricane. While my daughter's obviously been out there, she's met a boy. You know, she's been there for 16 months. Sometimes there's no electric, no current, maybe nothing to do. She met a boy and she got pregnant. So obviously this is not the right timing at all. It's not the right time to be having a baby. Not in these conditions and not in, there's a serious court case going on, but you know. So fast forward, October 2025. My daughter's in slow labour. In the hospital, but the hospital is about to be destroyed by this serious hurricane. So she's sent back in the slow labour.
Winston
She's
Gibbs
survived the hurricane, the eye of the storm. She's got the footage and everything. Then 3 days later, she gives birth to her baby, beautiful baby, in a taxi. No pain relief, no nothing. So beautiful, healthy baby girl. My daughter's healthy. Everything's fine. They've had to go back to Black River, that the worst place hit with a hurricane. We're one of them. No electricity, no water. There's still no electricity to this day. So let's fast forward now. January 2026. I'm feeling a bit positive. They've gone into court. They got found guilty. As a family, we're absolutely devastated. You can't imagine how I feel as a mother. And these girls was not represented properly at all. We've got so much evidence that was not presented in court. I mean, where's the proceeds of crime? Where's the phone records? Where's the bank statements? And also, someone used my daughter's phone while she was in custody and rang a British number. So to me, that sounds like they were the scapegoats while the real shipment went through. Corruption at its finest. So the next court hearing is early March for sentencing. We've been advised that these girls are looking a minimum of 6 years. A minimum of 6 years for something they've not done. 6 years. So obviously I want to provide a barrister from England to take over to Jamaica because we need to appeal with all the evidence that we've got. So the girls were not represented properly in court. They did not get a fair trial. There was no jury. So I've got a barrister at this side that has looked at the evidence and she can see and she's ready to come over and do the appeal. This is clearly some kind of setup and it's clearly something that happens often with young girls. As a mother, I want to get this out there to show women that you've got to really talk to your daughters. I'm talking seriously, not just on a small level, on a deep level, because this sounds like some new romance scam. I cannot sit back and watch my daughter go to jail for something she's not done. This has been the hardest 16 months of my life already. And bearing in mind, now she's got a baby. The barrister has to come over to clear my daughter's name, clear both the girls' names. This is a setup. So we're doing this fundraiser because we need to obviously provide legal assistance in Jamaica, because we can't rely on the lawyers that these girls have had. They've taken the money and not done a good job. And now they're looking 6 years. This can't happen. I cannot sit back and watch this happen. My middle daughter has not seen her sister in 16 months. I can't. It's been so much heartache, so much pain. I refuse to allow this to happen. I'm not going to allow this to happen. I'm going to fight. I cannot sit back and allow my daughter to go to jail for something she's not done. My heart can't take it. The pain that I've been through, I can't explain it, guys. But what I need you to do is, I need this to go viral. I need to share. You need to share. We need to get it to media. I just need your help. Like, comment, repost, boost, everything we can do to get traction on this. We need people to see this, because this can't happen to another girl. There's other girls reaching out to me in my DMs that are saying the same thing happened to them. They didn't go through no security. The same thing. We have to stop this from happening to our daughters. We have to stop these boys from taking advantage of our daughters. And to these horrible little boys that are grooming these girls, destroying families, I'm telling you now, you think there's no God, he's coming for you.
I call it reckless in love. Reckless in love. This has been going on for years. This have been going on for years. And these young girls are still getting caught up because they are in love with Jamaican men. And Jamaican men have a thing of telling you exactly what you want to hear, down to the dotted I and T, until they get what they want. Some audience speaking it in a foreign, one wouldn't understand what parents go through with them when them bend their mind to their condition and decide, say, them are going to do this. You can't talk them out of it. But when the problem comes, parents have to take it up with them. That Damien is crashing over the other side. What that mean? Philly Wagwan. Now, we're back to the minister. Promise or versus reality. The victory, where Darrell Vaz come a press conference, come claim today. Promise kept, promise, yeah. And he came again to re-justify the $150 million. You can read the article we put out, you can also go listen to Darrell Vaz scraping from the bottom of the barrel. You have not explained anything that justifies our money. Sharon Bernard, how you do? But if you see you come out a claim, say, promise made, promise kept. St. Elizabeth people don't feel so. Or the 17,000 or 7,000 or how much, 1,000 it is Jamaicans that are without electricity. Do not buy this rhetoric of promise made, promise kept. Promise made, promise kept, Darrell Vaz, is until every single JPS customer is back on the grid. But when you all got the loan, we were told, if I remember clearly, that would allow us to get full functionality by the end of December, the end of January rather, early November. No, early, what a month here be? February. Now we've been told that it's gonna go up until April, possible up until April, and can be longer as well. Because a lot of people are Westmoreland, St. Elizabeth, like Postal upon Dot. Hugh Grant, Lord Jesus, Jamaica can't fix, If you take your time to observe the people them were in a position of power, Jamaica can't fix. Hugh Grant and the composition, good evening. And you not even come up to the standard of writing essay, Hugh Grant. Because the composition them, where you come a press conference with, how no get job? No, how no get job? When you come with a grade 4 composition to a college, how it work? Did anyone see what's him call it, Grant? I mean, he is as bad as Fayval, isn't he? Hugh Grant. Hugh Grant is as terrible as Fayval. Who writes it for you, Hugh? Who write it for you? Because these things that these people stand up at press conference and tell, no go so, Nothing don't go so. This is a God bless Julian Robinson and Mark Golden. Well, it's always there to treat not Fayval, but we will get to Fayval in time. But Darrell Vaz come to the huffing, puffing, and frothing and sliming to the people of St. Elizabeth and Westmoreland. We're in a dark tonight, Darrell Vaz. Where mosquito and sandfly have feast span we. And we are buck up in a one another in a dark night. Do you think those people by the promise made, promise kept rhetoric that you come out with today and a frat and a slime over the podium? I mean, I don't know if anybody will look and see how you just get mashed up overnight, so like you just a take crack for cope or you fret about something, whichever one I don't know, but something wrong with Darrell Vaz. Anyway, that's not my business. I know your business me there about. We're there about with money. With two. And him give one explanation again to the over the starting. Darrell Vaz, you see, if one did do things true and honest, one wouldn't have to come out and tell a lie every day or another piece of the lie every day. Because this what you said in today's press conference is quite much toned down to how you come out and tell over there, I make no apology and this and that. Now Darrell Vaz is moving on to tell us that, because, the big head one, Alvin Gale was new and this and that, and I take the responsibility. What we want to know then, Vaz, 500 minus 700 minus 200 or 700 plus 200, which of the maths is it? Not just the maths, Darrell Vaz, but which of the two got to you first? The 700 donated or the 200 purchased? Because your answer today in press conference, Darrell Vaz, would demand us to know which one of them you get first. Was it that you get the 200 sterling first, or is it that the 700, which come after the other, the chicken or the egg, Darrell? Darrell Vaz, the 700 is the egg, and the 200 is the chicken. Chicken or egg, Darrell? Chicken or egg? We want to know. It's important we know which one of them come to with, get into the hand of the government first. It is important, Darrell Vaz, to know which comes first, the chicken or the egg. Tonight, Darrell Vaz. So you stop talking. Me tell us if you keep on about shit, you should just make the face the answer where you give away the turn and done. Because this so-called clarity answer today, Darrell Vaz, only spark questions for me. Which come first, the chicken or the egg? We want to know. Because it matters. It matters to the explanation that you gave today, Darrell Vaz. Date matters. If it's about transparency, Darrell Vaz, the date matters. Not only that the date matters, the procurement document, not just the procurement document matters. We need to see the invoice, Darrell Vaz. Who you buy from, where you buy, when you get. We want to know every fine details of price, date, and what you call the people and where you buy from, merchant or whatever they are called. We want to see all of those mother heifers. Because your answer today demand date of the chicken or date of the egg. Because if all them can't come one time, I guarantee you that. You never see the egg and the chicken come together. One after the other. Whichever you think come first might be down to you. But we want to know. Because it make a difference. Because if you get the 700, then go buy the 200. It raises question as to whether you buy the 200 for two. Darrell Vaz. It raises questions as to whether you buy the 200 something or rather for two. So we need to know the date how the 200 Skylink get to Darrell Vaz. And we need to know the date where the 700 Starlink get to AdPem. It really matters. Your answer today, Darrell Vaz, demand date clarification because that would bring more transparency to the matter. And that would help us to understand, was our money wisely spent? Was the breach of procurement and going around AdPem and whoever was to do the procurement, was it justified? You idiot. So please provide us the date, Minister of Dendera. Provide us the date. And make we see if we put the story to bed or if it indeed spark more question. But the date for me, when me hear you thought fraud through your mouth corner to the derivative, I said, Jesus, look how the date them jump out of my mouth. Look how the date. But may I take a break to lash journalists left, right, and center? I may not have beat them yet. Listen here. Church is a congregation. School is a congregation. A shop place where you say, man, hang out and play domino or drink and listen music and smoke is a congregation. It is what the press conference or the press briefing, the weekly press briefing in our country has become a congregation. Nasty, dirty journalists, all on me attack with no exception. Nasty, dirty, clearly sell out on herself journalists. Dirty not have no integrity. On your knees. Oh no, the Andrew the pan for him knees. Oh no, fall prostrate. But no get up a press briefing a bit fa. Cause uno go there, uno either nah or can't ask no question. I'm not quite clear which is it if I nah or can't. Something is happening at this press conference. Let us go to Kamina Johnson-Smith. We now go bored, with the video of it. The article that they want can go read. Important. Because article them not tell no lie, tell you exactly what happened, and it critique everything properly. The Cuban fuel crisis. Strategic ambiguity or transparency. Kamina Johnson-Smith came to the podium today. I don't understand what she was saying. I can't translate fuckery. I tell you that for free. Just cannot do it. But she was talking load of gibberish, gobbledygook, and oh, God of grace, what is happening in our country? What is happening in our country? She was talking about the Cuba issue. Don't understand the point she was making, especially when she was talking about our student, about 300 of them who are studying in Cuba. It seems that Kamina Johnson-Smith is just throwing back all the responsibility to the parent, the student and their parents. Assess your situation, consult with your parents. It goes on. As the Minister of Foreign Affairs and Trade, I really didn't expect better from her or much more from her, given that she was representing a prime minister on bended knees. So she now can't come out with anything better than that. So you have to sit with her there. So, albeit her neck longer than her hand, you have to sit with her. My bigger problem that I had when it came to time to question Kamina Johnson-Smith, she come about the Cuba issue. The update what she give never make much of a sense, never give no clarity. I don't know if anyone can be more vague than Kamina Johnson-Smith. I literally don't know if any other person can be as vague. She's not really as evasive as Tufton and the others, but she's very vague. And one of the things Kamina Johnson-Smith tends to do, whenever time Jamaica needs to answer a particular question, Jamaica turns to the curtain of CARICOM. Run right behind the curtain and say, CARICOM's position. What is CARICOM's position? Because CARICOM do not have a united position. CARICOM position not united. Because there's a lot of social democrats in office that is not in line with Andrew Holness and Donald Trump galangin. But the dodging behind CARICOM position is what Kamina Johnson-Smith now become known for. This is a good article to read as well. It's a critical analysis, so I may think to say at some point, but upon Kamina Johnson-Smith's side, but that's a critical analysis, so you have to look on the pros and cons and the good and the bad. She's not been honest. That's a fact. We know that. Can she say what we want her to say, though? Absolutely not. Because she's representing Andrew Holness. She's speaking on behalf of Andrew Holness, who has taken a position that's not an unspoken position, but a position that is activated. But Kamina Johnson-Smith said Cuba I lie the older way I tell Cuba never buy no oil from them, which means that the ship never turn back empty. So Kamina Johnson Smith say. The bigger part of today's problem with the Kamina Johnson Smith statement. Only one person, two people ask question. Mahiri Stewart from over Malvinas and Jamelia Maitland from TVJ. Lady Malvina, daughter Maricia, asks about the US visa processing. Jamelia Maitland from TVJ asks about the Cuba oil vessel. So that's all I know. Of all the journalists in the room, nobody. So it begs me today what jump out at me. Is it that they don't want to ask or they cannot ask? It cannot be that even clarity on the want on the issue. You have the chance to be in the room, a room of bullshit, mind you, but you have the chance to be there. Don't know if you are the tissue or the toilet brush. You had a chance to be in the bowl of shit. You got the chance to answer question, ask question. On walk out of the room without asking them, I don't understand. And they don't have the right to come face it with we. We don't have the right to come put we in our cage. We don't have the right to come treat we as others or those over there. I hate me talk the right. Thank God for AI. What I tell you these days, you're all muted. Jamaica is a dictatorship. When you get up at the press conference, so in a dictatorship, the government and the cockroaches them come to the mic and them talk and we accept say so you go. You don't need to go sit down in the room. Because going to a press briefing as a journalist is to ask questions, is not to hear. You could have stayed online and hear just like me. A foreign media hear everything. A foreign me listen it from and write about it when I'm not done. And me not say wanna write about the nonsense. Wanna go there go ask today. So wanna go there for? The purpose of going to a press conference is not to listen, is to ask questions. It's really not to listen. So Andrew Holness and Dana Dixon call on to sit down in a chair with makeup on her face and air condition to listen. And then walk out and they don't even have anything to write about. Or they don't even have anything to broadcast. What are not going to go do? Globalists, I need to support me, make me case and start work some money and go get me press pass and then something there, Me go look after my press pass too. I'm going to look after my press pass. Be qualified to be a journalist. One of the career paths for anybody who go to law school, politics, business, journalist, or a legal profession. So me want my press pass so me can go in a press conference. Go either ask the question, fling shoes out of them like the Iraqi man did do with President Bush, or them draw me out. But you don't go to press conference, you go sit down and listen. Then you just come out and you don't have nothing to tell me. So what the news carrying is about? Because news carrying, when you do news carrying, you can't go sit down and listen. When somebody tell you something, you got to tell back somebody else. And this as a news carrying, who not tell we say? Uno go fi go catch the news, you know. Uno go fi go catch the news and uno don't come back with nothing. So suppose I did food, hungry would have kill we. Hungry would have kill we if a food when send no go look. So please read this article to catch up with Kamina Johnson brouhaha today. But nothing that Kamina Johnson Smith said, I don't know. Maybe that's why the poor journalists them can't write about it, because nothing understandable was said. Or she said nothing that I understand or got any clarity from. Even from an asked question. Even though Jamila Maitland squirted around the question to get it to her. Kamina Johnson Smith just go behind CARICOM and everything else she can go behind. But we're not getting any answers in this country. In our beloved country, we're not getting any answers. We're being dictated to. People do things and we have to accept, say, I saw it go. People do things and we have to accept, say, I saw it go. They're forcing their reality upon us, or their barbarism. They're forcing us to accept their barbarism as our reality. And the people of Jamaica just sit down quiet, so everybody's voice is just muted. Like the silence is going to solve the problem. Look how the year starts. The year start, I mean, corruption whole way up where we can't even move forward. Every turn we turn, corruption is pointing a finger. It is becoming more and more disgraceful. Moments of confusion. Wanna read the article there yet? Wanna read Moments of Confusion yet? Jesus, keep me near the cross. Jesus, keep me near the cross, because with this year, all apron string, with this year, all apron string. Can somebody send Fayval home, please? We should have something like the 25th Amendment. Even though the 25th Amendment don't make no sense in America, you know, because see, America is run by a mad pedophile, a child rapist. So the 25th, but we need a mechanism to remove Fayval. And not move her for just the unprofessionalism, you know. Maybe if it was just the unprofessionalism, we could try help and fix her up. The embarrassment. We can't, you know, like how we could have walked and boast for Nigel. We can't even call Fayval name a road. Me say, like how we could have walked and boast for Nigel. Say Jamaica have a pinker farm. Minister of Finance. We can't go road, go talk about Fayval, make nobody hear, you know. Next thing you know, then look and we like we're idiot. Lady Esmeralda.
I rise this afternoon to pilot the Asset Tax Specified Bodies Amendment Bill and the Income Tax Amendment Bill. Bills that respond directly to A, the unprecedented national emergency created by Hurricane Melissa.
I used to say, if I hear AI one more time, I'm going to lose it. But Monday.com is super easy to use and no
problem, no problem.
And B, address a long-standing administrative issue relating to the operation of the income tax and asset tax systems, reflecting this government's commitment to fairness, compassion, and sound fiscal governance. Madam Speaker, the Asset Tax Specified Bodies Amendment Bill advanced a measured administrative adjustment to the timing of corporate income tax filing and payment, an issue that has been under active policy consideration for several years. On the other hand, the Income Tax Amendment Bill provides a targeted, time-bound response to the disruption caused by Hurricane Melissa by ensuring that employer-provided disaster-related support to employees is treated appropriately under the income tax framework. Madam Speaker, in outlining the provisions before this Honorable House, I will first, Mr. Speaker, in outlining the provisions before this Honorable House, I will first address the measures concerning the filing and payment of corporate income tax, then turn to the amendments governing disaster-related income tax treatment. Mr. Speaker, the administrative amendments I now outline are effected through both the Income Tax Amendment Bill and the Asset Tax Specified Bodies Amendment Bill.
I'll pull it up for you, Violet.
By way of background, Mr. Speaker, under the current framework, corporate taxpayers are required to finalize audited financial statements within a relatively compressed period following the end of the year of assessment. This timeline has long been recognized as a sustained source of compliance pressure for corporate taxpayers and accountants. Mr. Speaker, this timeline has long been recognized as a sustained source of compliance pressure for corporate taxpayers and accountants and auditors, given the sequence and complexity of year-end financial reporting obligations. The issue of adjusting the annual filing and payment date has been under active consideration since 2021, including a formal proposal raised during the 2021-22 budget debate and a subsequent reference in the Minister's opening presentation for the 2025-2026 budget. The current fiscal circumstances create the opportunity to advance this reform in careful. The Income Tax Amendment Bill and the Assets Tax Specified Bodies Amendment Bill provide for a limited adjustment annual filing corporate income tax, moving the final return and the payment date from March 15th to April 15th, beginning with the year of assessment 2025. For administrative consistency, the Assets Tax Specified Bodies Amendment Bill aligns the filing and payment date for assets tax with the revised corporate income tax timeline, recognizing that assets tax assessments are derived from the same underlying financial statements used for income tax purposes. Mr. Speaker, it is important to emphasize that this change is deliberately narrow in scope. It applies only to corporate income tax and assets tax and does not affect pay-as-you-earn individual income tax obligations or the existing quarterly estimated income tax prepayment schedule. The amendment is intended to reduce compliance pressure, to align revenue realization with fiscal planning, while remaining fully consistent with government. By way of background and national context, Mr. Speaker, on October 28, 2025, Hurricane Melissa made landfall in Jamaica as a Category 5 hurricane, inflicting devastation on a rarely ever severely affected, with widespread destruction of homes, businesses, public facilities, and essential infrastructure. Lives were tragically lost, entire communities were displaced, and thousands of Jamaicans were forced into prolonged periods of uncertainty and hardship as a result. Damage assessments indicate multi-billion-dollar economic losses across major productive sectors, including housing, public infrastructure, agriculture, tourism, and other key industries. The physical damage has been estimated at approximately US $8.8 billion, making Hurricane Melissa the costliest natural disaster in Jamaica's history. Beyond physical disruption, Mr. Speaker, the hurricane severely disrupted employment, income flows, and many households' ability to meet basic needs in the immediate aftermath. Mr. Speaker, in this context of profound and personal hardship, many employers stepped forward to provide emergency financial assistance to their employees. These payments were not made as remuneration for services rendered, but as support for personal recovery, welfare, and basic survival during a period of national distress. I announced to the House of Representatives on December 9th, 2025, that the government would move to establish a framework to allow the non-taxable treatment of disaster relief support provided by employers to their employees following Hurricane Melissa. That announcement, Mr. Speaker, reflected the government's clear view that the automatic application of the tax laws should not diminish humanitarian assistance in response to a declared disaster. Mr. Speaker, the income tax adjustment bill, now before this honorable House, gives legislative effect to that commitment. It converts a necessary policy response into a clear statutory framework, provides certainty to employees, employers, and administration alike, while ensuring passion, fiscal responsibility are properly aligned in law.
We have got to the point where literally anybody can build a fully working app without knowing how to code. This is based.
Mr. Speaker, this honorable House is reminded.
Violet and everybody, I have pinned the link to my main Facebook profile in the top of your chat. If you hit that link, it will take you straight to my main profile.
Which are ordinarily subject to. Ideally, outside of the minister's discretionary remission powers under section
We're going
86.
to move this a little forward to Julian.
And the Assets Tax Specified Bodies Amendment Bill to the honorable members of this House and invite your support. Mr. Speaker, may God bless this honorable House and may God bless Jamaica. Thank you, Mr.
She's
Speaker.
tired, you know? She's very tired.
Member from St. Andrews Southeastern.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Turn your mic on, please.
The amendments here aim to do three things. The first one related to the relief from employers to employees. When the minister brought it a couple of weeks ago, I indicated that we had no objection to what you were proposing. I questioned whether 200,000 was sufficient, but you said based on your own research. The question I would have, does this also allow the employer not to pay NIS, NHT, and the other deductions that they would normally pay to an employee? Is the relief only for income tax, or is it the relief for all the other applicable taxes that an employer is obliged to pay to an employee? The second thing, to move the date, the filing date from March to April, it is not something that we would have an objection to. I believe it puts the government in a better position to understand the amount of taxes it would collect by the end of the fiscal year, March 30th. And as the minister said, it's something that has been recommended by both tax professionals, and the fiscal commissioner actually in his last report recommended it. Minister, there is one question I have, which is related to section 4B, item 5. And the section reads, every person delivering a return of income shall include with the return a statement in the prescribed form or such form as may be agreed by the Commissioner General of the tax chargeable on that income under this act, indicating how much, if any, of that tax remains unpaid, and the tax so indicated as unpaid shall be treated as if it had been the subject of a notice of assessment served on that person. I just want clarity here. Are you saying that when you file, and if you have not paid everything, and you so indicate, you will automatically be the subject of an assessment by the tax authorities? I'm just seeking clarification on that section. But the other two, as I said, we don't have objections, but I would like you to indicate whether the other taxes are, the employer will be relieved of the other taxes.
Member from West Central, St. James.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, as I said earlier, this bill entitled an act to amend the Income Tax Act is seeking to do a number of things. My contribution will be limited to the provision for relief in respect of Hurricane Melissa. Mr. Speaker, the minister is being empowered to exempt from income tax certain payments. It is unusual to set out in the primary legislation the details that are set out here. And if you look on the scheme of the provision, you see already where the minister is empowered by order, subject to affirmative resolution, to exempt certain payments. What is in the subsection could not be construed as including the sums that are specified. And I would like to propose for the minister's consideration an amendment to the provision to make the provision general and to enable any subsequent relief that is to be granted after decision is taken to prevent the need to amend the legislation again. And I believe if the provision were to be worded along the line of with effect from November 1, 2025, such sum as may be prescribed by the minister by order subject to affirmative resolution, which is paid by an employer to an employee for personal recovery and welfare due to loss or damage suffered from the effects of an occurrence referred to in section 20, subsection 2, paragraph C of the Constitution, or a disaster which is the subject of an order under section 26 of the Disaster Risk Management Act. It would allow for the goal to be achieved without having to come back to amend the principal legislation. And I think it's the same thing, it's just a matter of how it is provided for.
Member from St. Andrews Southern.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. A couple of points on this bill to amend the Income Tax Act. First of all, I join in the query raised by my colleague, the member for Southeast St. Andrew, as to whether this exemption being granted to employees from paying income tax on up to $200,000.
This has to be the most powerful smartwatch the world has ever seen. Just pop it on your wrist, and in 3 seconds, it accurately tracks 24
whether any similar exemption will apply to other statutory contributions and obligations that apply to payroll, such as NIS contributions, NHT contributions, HART, which is an employee cost, and so on. This would only apply to income tax. So if it is not done with the others in mind, the employee would still potentially be liable to pay contributions under $200,000 under those other laws that govern those matters. So I think it's an important point for her to clarify the House. Secondly, I wanted to say that there's a mechanism for making this a permanent facility because the amendment to Section 5 is very specific to payments of not exceeding in the aggregate $200,000 paid by an employer to an employee between November 1, 2025 and March 31, 2026 for personal recovery and welfare due to loss or damage suffered from the effects of Hurricane Melissa. So it specifies the time frame, it specifies the amount, and it specifies the specific disaster. So this is obviously not going to impact future events where the government may wish to provide similar relief. So I would
Marlene, I make it general so you can apply it in the future.
It's hard to follow it orally, but you know, the approach being suggested that would provide a mechanism in Section 51C4C to allow the minister in the future, by order, subject to bring it to Parliament for affirmative resolution, to implement whatever may be the appropriate level of relief in those circumstances in the future, without having to come to amend the Income Tax Act again to do so.
Just to explain to you how legislation really works in this, and what Marlene is saying, it makes sense. What Golden is saying also makes sense. As Marlene is saying, rather than writing the law in specific to Melissa, no, and it would only apply to Melissa, and if another disaster comes, you have to amend the law. In lawmaking, what would be required here is that a section, say Section 5, which them a debate, give the Minister of Finance power in a future disaster to bring an order or a resolution to Parliament to do exactly what she's doing now in Melissa, which wouldn't require going through this lengthy process as they are now. So what both Golden and Marlene is saying makes sense, because as it is written now, it would only apply to the Melissa relief, whereas if a disaster come this year, touch wood, don't happen, them would have to go through this process again. But this is the haphazard, pitchy-patchy galangin that them always come to Parliament with legislatively, not really carefully sit down and draft.
Thirdly, on the matter of the date for filing of corporate income tax returns, I agree with this amendment to move it to a date in April, the 15th of April. Indeed, I had called for that in my budget presentation, I think 2 or 3 years ago, that be done. So I'm happy to see it being done. I would just like to read an excerpt from the statement on fiscal affairs from the Independent Fiscal Commissioner, which was published in September 2025 in respect of the first quarter of this fiscal year. And he said, and I quote, "Of note, the fiscal balance and primary balance, i.e. 0.2% of GDP and 5.4% of GDP respectively, were broadly in line with their corresponding programmed values under the third supplementary estimates and the initial budget. Notwithstanding, tax revenue of $882.8 billion was lower than originally budgeted by $16.5 billion, or 1.8%, and $14.2 billion, or 1.6% less than estimated under the third supplementary estimates. The bulk of the shortfall occurred in March, the last month of the fiscal year, when income tax returns are due. This is talking about March 2025. It is against this backdrop that the Independent Fiscal Commissioner reiterates its call for the government of Jamaica to shift the due date for tax returns from March to a month in the first quarter of the fiscal year to better manage the risks associated with revenue shortfalls. And that, I think, summarizes another reason why it's important to make this amendment, because by having tax returns filed in the fiscal year itself, in the last year, it's very difficult to budget for the coming year because you don't know what your actual revenue for the current year will end up being. And that has been identified by the Fiscal Commissioner as a fiscal risk, which should be remedied. So I am happy to see what I had proposed a few years ago, what the Independent Fiscal Commissioner had proposed, and I think the minister's predecessor had also seen the logic of it being enacted here today. The other two issues I would like to hear from the minister on. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Minister.
Minister.
Apparently, you can go from 0 to a complete site in just a single prompt with Wix Harmony. I don't know if this is going to be possible or vibe.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. With regards to section 67B, the member asked about whether or not those who file, if they have tax that remains unpaid, would they be assessed? And no, it is not about an assessment. It's about the making sure that, hold on the date. The section is really creating a deemed collection date, not a deemed assessment. That is what that is doing there. And with regards to the question of will statutories be exempt? Member, yes, they will be exempt. All the others for that. The law says it's exempt. So when you do your filings, and it is also, well, all the other taxes would be relieved because these pieces of legislation rely on the definition of emolument in the Income Tax Act. Therefore, to the extent that it is not charged to income tax, it will not attract the other statutories, right? And I answered your prior question about the assessment versus the collection date. Okay, I think that's it.
What about Julian question?
You're, go ahead, let me hear the point of order.
If you ask your questions on mic for the benefit of the record. Thank you. Angela, why are you so miserable today? Every day. Did you not sleep last night? Every day. Angela.
Member Brownberg. Member Brownberg, not Angela. You don't get called by your first name in the parliament. Member Brownberg. It's anyway, the whole I know a friend. Cockroaches. Isilda, how are you? Come Fayval, answer me go on about my business. Okay, you know really there, I do nothing. And she gonna look help there. She gonna look help. I wonder if she knows a question to answer.
As the minister is moving to close the debate, some suggestions have been made. So we're going to just suspend the debate on the Income Tax Act so that the minister can have that consultation. But as the team is here and the minister does have additional matters, we're going to move into the next matter, suspend this so that you can consult on the point that has been raised.
And that's for the income tax.
For the income tax. So we suspend the debate and the minister will move into the asset tax.
Asset tax.
Amendments to the asset tax.
Big eye girl with a big titty. So, Fayval yesterday was a wallowing embarrassment. It get worse, I know. We don't have time to go to that, but the asset tax amendment, it even get worse around. The embarrassment will not see us, so not start yet. I think it's abuse, though. The embarrassment that Fayval has become in our country, it is an abuse to her. So, as we say, read that article as well if you don't read it yet. And to everyone, if you not follow my Facebook page at my Facebook profile is pinned in the top of the chat. You can hit it and it takes you to the page where you can follow us, and all our articles are there where you can read. Once you hit the link, it on the articles will take you to the website. So thank you very much for coming out this evening. Make sure you hit the like button and make sure you read and support. You must get used to reading. And it then use and conquer way. Deny way of information. And then make we grow and adapt to it, and them tell we say, I done we done and we all start. But we can get back into a ready galangin. It will help you to frazzle your way through the thick cloud of lies that pastors and politicians regularly tell. You must read. All right? You must read. Anyway, we will see you all in the morning. Thank you very much for being out here tonight. Lovely to have your support as always. And look out for our articles in the morning because we normally try to drop them before we come out. And you can also scan our QR code and you can send us a request to our app on Space, and then you can also read our articles in the Space app as well. So you can scan this QR code. It will allow you to download our Space app. Once you download it and sign in with either your Google account or your Facebook, it will allow you to send us a request to join the app, and all our articles published, you will receive them in the app. So thank you and good night from Global TV.
Too long in our little ghetto, run keep going on, less process. For children of Israel do really love rights. So that's why I as a watchman around Babylonian walls. Oh, children of Israel, I should never hold thy peace. What wrong is going on? Day or night, we gonna bust down Babylon walls. Prepare and read the way. Prepare and read the way for your people. Let's go. Fight down war and crime. Fight down war and crime. Rastafari. War and crime. And do the righteousness. And we love Jah. And we love Jah. And we love Jah. Jah Rastafari. Save all people. And we love Jah. We love Jah. Jah Rastafari. We love Jah. Jah Rastafari. Preserve all people. Put time away again. Listen, yeah. So just as I and I as a watchman, I run Babylonian walls. Oh, children of Israel, I should never hold thy peace while we penalize day or night. We gonna bust down Babylon gates. Prepare and read the way. Prepare and read the way for Jah Rastafari. Fight down war and crime. Fight down war and crime. Rastafari. War and crime. And build up righteousness. And we love Jah. And we love Jah. And we love Jah. Jah Rastafari. Preserve all. And we love Jah. Me love Jah. Jah Rastafari. Me love Jah. Jah Rastafari. Preserve all. Me love Jah. Jah Rastafari. Jah Rastafari. Yeah, the next song is going to be the last song for tonight. And then DJ.
If you don't like missing out on the latest shows but still enjoy classic hits, then Global TV Group 358 is your perfect match. Global TV Group 358 isn't just another channel, it's your ultimate TV experience. From breaking news to binge-worthy dramas and timeless classics, we've got it all. Our unique blend of original content and global favorites means there's something for everyone. And guess what? With GTVG's seamless streaming, you can watch anywhere, anytime. Plus,
Our interactive features let you be part of the action. So, whether you're a seasoned binge watcher or a casual viewer, Global TV Group 358 is here to keep you entertained day and night. Don't just watch TV, experience it with Global TV Group 358. Subscribe now and never miss a moment.